Hi, I'm Laura Jacob, registered dietitian with Christie Clinic, and I'm here at the Common Ground Food Co-op teaching kitchen, and I'm going to be talking about beets today. Beets may have something of a reputation of not being tasty, but I think they're very tasty, and they taste a lot different when you cook them in different ways than they do straight out of the can, like a lot of people are accustomed to. So you have, they're really nutritious. 1 cup of sliced beets has about 40 calories, so that's really a very low calorie food. And the greens, you can eat the greens as well, although I don't have any, these ones don't have any greens on them, but they have kind of a tall green that you can eat, which are very nutritious, high in fiber. A whole cup of beet greens is about 8 calories, so you can't beat that. It's almost, that's a freebie. And then they're high in fiber, vitamin C, potassium, and they're loaded with antioxidants, which are, most antioxidants are color compounds. So beets are super colorful and have a lot of antioxidants in them. So very good for the health. Some things you want to remember when you're storing them, if you can't use them right away and you need to store them, you want to just remove the greens, leave a little bit of a stem, and just don't wash them, just put them in a plastic bag, and they'll keep in the refrigerator in the crisper drawer for about a month or so. A perforated plastic bag would be ideal. And the greens, put them in a plastic bag in the crisper drawer, and you want to use them up as quickly as possible because we all know salad greens go bad quickly. Or you can just cook them up right away and freeze them, and that's another good way to store them. There's a lot of different kinds of beets, so as you can see here, there's different colors. This is the traditional red beet that we see a lot, but also this is a golden beet here, which has more of a yellow color on the inside. And this is a Chioggia beet. Both of these are Chioggia beets, so they come in little kind of different sizes here, but this is kind of a nice pink and white stripe color inside, which is really neat. You can eat them raw, unpeeled. You just wanna obviously wash them and scrub off any dirt and wash them. Before you cut them up to eat them. You can grate them up, you can cut them into matchsticks. You don't have to peel them. You can put them in a salad or in a slaw, or maybe on top of cut them into matchsticks and put them on top of a wrap or a taco or something like that for kind of a different flavor. Or you could cut them into sort of bigger pieces and use them in a dip or something like that. And cooked, you can boil, steam, or roast them. You could do that. Before you do that, you would want to cut off the little root and stem end. If you're going to slice them, I would say peel them. If you're going to roast them or boil them, you don't actually have to peel them because you can easily remove the peel once it's cooked. You could just kind of wipe it off. So that's a good way to do that. So roasted are really tasty. It really kind of mellows the flavor and kind of caramelizes them, and doesn't taste a lot like what you get in the can, which actually aren't that bad. I kind of like the canned ones too. But roasting or making them yourself from scratch is much tastier. I would encourage you, if you have not liked beets in the past, to give it a try it again and see what you think. If you roast them whole, you can drizzle them with oil and then wrap them in foil and then put them in the oven at 400 degrees, probably 40 to 50 minutes to get tender. You just want them to get fork tender, and then they're ready to go. Or peel them. I'm going to peel them today and slice them up and roast them. But some other ways you can prepare them, you can also pickle them. So a lot of people do pickled beets. So you might peel them, cut them in cubes or slices or sticks, and then you put them in kind of like a jar and then you would add like a vinegar, sugar. You would cook up some sugar and vinegar and maybe some seasonings, possibly cloves or cinnamon or something like that, until that sugar dissolves, and then you would just pour it into the jar with the sliced or diced or cubed beets, and then put them in the fridge, and you'll have pickled beets in a couple of days, which are really tasty. But I today am going to peel these. So you just use like a regular vegetable peeler. I've already removed the top and bottom, as you can see. Just peel off that skin. You might want to use gloves because they do stain a little bit. I'm just gonna go with it today. I have kind of a funny story about beets, and I realize people don't like beets because as a child, I had a bad experience with beets at school lunch. So on my plate was some sliced red jelly looking stuff. Sort of looked, I thought it was cranberry sauce. So then I took a bite, and it was like, what is this? This is beets. So it was a little bit of a bad experience for me, but I've come around as an adult to liking them now. So we're just gonna, I wanna cut open this Chioggia one and show you how cool it looks inside. Look at that, stripy pink and white. Very nice. And when you have the different colors and the stripes and the purple red color, what a nice presentation to put on a plate as well. I'm almost done getting them all sliced up. Look how pretty that is. That's our Chioggia beets. I'm gonna slice them. I'm slicing them in about 1/2 inch thick slices to roast. So the beet greens, again, also can be eaten, and they're very nutritious. So use up that whole vegetable. And you can eat them raw or sauteed or in a stir fry or something like that, or you could put them in soup for the greens. So lots of good nutrition there. It's a really good way to get calcium too, to eat those dark green leafies like that, especially if you're someone who is lactose intolerant or you just don't consume dairy products. Beet greens are high in calcium, so very nice. So here's that nice yellow one, golden one. Look at that, lots of good colors. So now I'm gonna make those a little bit smaller slices so they're about the same as the other ones. You want to preheat your oven to about 400, and while that's preheating, you would just kind of toss them on a sheet pan. I like to use a liner to save my pans. And separate out those slices, and then drizzle with a little olive oil. Kind of toss them around so they get covered, and a little pepper, salt. And I'm just gonna kind of toss them around so they get some coverage with the olive oil. You could do this in a bowl as well. You don't wanna get your fingers all oily. And put them in a single layer, pop them in the oven, and they should roast for, I guess depending on how thick you cut them, 20 to 30 minutes until they're fork tender. And you might want to flip them over once while they're in there so they get a little bit caramelized or browned on each side, and then you can just pull them out and eat them. So our beets are all roasted and nice and caramely and a little bit browned coming out of the oven, and they're ready to eat. So I'm just gonna plate some up here. Look how pretty those are with the nice different colors and great nutrition and so much better than the kind out of a can, although I like those as well. There we go. You can eat them straight out of the oven, or you can put them in the refrigerator and use them the next day on a salad, which would go nice on like a mixed green salad, maybe some sliced oranges and a little balsamic vinaigrette. I'm Laura Jacob, registered dietitian from Christie Clinic. Thanks for watching.